So what I did was I brought this. This is a Hollywood Juniper. I only have one. And I only have one because it was another one of my mistakes when I was landscaping. A lot of my unusual plants or one-of-a-kind things tend to be that. It's been sitting around here for a while now, probably good 30, maybe get closer to 40, because it was from my landscape days. But as always, I do have the movement and taper. And what I thought I'd show you today is, I'm not sure where I'm going to go with this, but I'd like to start from here. And so that right now is the soil levels here, but see how when we start to remove, then you start to get a better root flare. And then once I get this part lowered, then I know what to do with the rest of the pot. Okay, now, I'm in the month of December, and I usually recommend my students don't do anything now. Of course, it's always about do as I say, not do as I do. Well, so what could happen is if you end up cutting big roots, that part could get infected and then you'll suffer later. It won't show right away. But anyway, that's what I'm doing now, is doing this. So it might be able to go into the next pot, which might be a mica pot, without taking any soil out. Then it's completely safe. At this stage, it's good to go like this. Make sure that we don't have any coiling roots, right? A lot of times you'll end up getting this root that hits the edge and then coil. But this one looks like it's in pretty good shape. See, just pull so that you can rake this surface root, make sure there's nothing that does a weird thing, right? These little things are very important in terms of quality of material. If you skip this stage and just stuck it in a pot, then this coiling can haunt you later. That's why, to me, you have to produce good material. And don't worry about the wiring and things like that. People start wiring things too soon. I mean, there is a place for it. Well, except to me, I just say, well, maybe you don't have to wire it all. But that was a root that was not doing anything, so I took that off. See, now the root flare area is getting better and better. That's what usually happens when you're growing material. A lot of times the root flare can be hidden. See this right here? I don't like that. This is one of the roots that coiled around. And this is kind of stuff that should have been taken care of early. And I must have missed it. Well, a lot of the stuff that comes from the commercial nursery, they don't deal with this kind of things. A lot of them will be curling like that. So now I'm going to have to do some drastic thing and see if I could get that out of there before it gets worse. Okay, not smooth like my electric turntable, but at least you could see, right? Yeah, once you get used to that, Electric smooth turning table. It sure is hard. Okay. Hopefully this unsightliness will go away. If you look very carefully, it's a little bit funny, but most people are not going to notice, I don't think, because the whole thing is very dramatic. So what to do next? Okay, so it doesn't exactly fit, but I'm trying to get it in here. And I think I could do it by raking it out and cutting some minor roots, because one of the problems, if we cut big roots right now, the cold and the wet, sometimes that cut gets infected. But these are very small roots, and also because I'm using basically the same soil throughout the nursery, I could add. Now, this came from another nursery or somewhere else and had totally different kind of soil, then you're going to have to do something more drastic, in which case you should wait till spring. So anyway, I'm going to see if I can get it to fit in here, and well, let's just see what happens. So what I'm doing is to rake. What I did was the front this way so that it'll fit in, and then just the bottom lightly like this, and I'll be cutting these. But there's nothing major in here, so chance of success is great. So I raked out. Now all I'm going to do is go ahead and lightly prune. Remember, when we lightly prune roots, it stimulates the tree. If you cut a lot, it stresses it. So now it should just pop right in the pot. Okay, now I think I need to prune this. I got the front, and then there's this one branch here that is coming out too far forward. So I'm gonna have to adjust that and then thin it out. But yeah, more or less fit in the pot. The studio, so I'm able to put it on the electric turntable, which is a lot smoother than me trying to turn it on the manual one. I think it's coming up pretty good. Look at the roof flare on this thing here. I had to do some rough cuts up on top. There were some that was just too big for that area, and so I cut it off. Okay, I'm looking at this at maybe 2 years and 3 years, something like that. We should have this looking really good. First of all, it has to survive this. I give this about 70% success rate. Usually, I recommend that you wait till late February into March around here. That's what I would recommend my students. And at that point, it's like 99% success rate. But I'm willing to take the chance. And I'm pretty sure that this is going to be okay. Hopefully that we'll have time for me to further develop this and get it to the point where it could actually go into a nicer bonsai pot instead of this mica training. But we don't know. Being in the commercial part of the business, it could be gone anytime. But as long as it's still here, I will show you the progress. So what we've been looking at is, this is a Hollywood Juniper. Some people use a lot of it, but I only have this one because I think it was leftover from my landscape days again. Either that or, no, I don't think I dug it out. I think it's one of my missed purchases. Anyway, so we got that wound there that needs to heal. And as it come around the front, so you can see where the roof flare, I exposed quite a bit, right? Oh, maybe 2-3 inches of the topsoil came off, and then now we got this really dramatic line. I cut off those coiling big roots. It's slightly unsightly now, but as it weathers, it should be okay. If you really look, there's imperfection in there, but I think in a couple of years you won't even notice that. So actually this side is not a bad front either. A little bit big as a bonsai. I was trying to decide whether it should be a bonsai or a Niwaki. I think originally I had it as a Niwaki. That's why it got so fat. And then I changed my mind and whacked it off and then redid it. So yeah, it's been sitting around here for a good 30-40 years. Okay, let's take a look one more time. I'll spin it one more time completely around. So this is the Hollywood Juniper. Been sitting around here between 30 and 40 years. So anyway, this is Hiro saying goodbye. Like I was saying before, most of you should not be doing this in the first week of December. Wait till about March. Well, it depends on where you are. My friend Chuck, he has to wait longer because he's still cold up there. So, you have to make adjustments. And then it's also about how much risk are you willing to take. And I'll settle for 70% success rate on this, but most of my students, I try to make it so that it's like 95 to 99.9% success rate, because a lot of people do not like failures, like dead plants. Okay, see you again real soon in another chapter.